Afternoon everyone, we're picking up with the second part of the aftermath of the share split announcement. Okay, so just wanted to pick up with the comments section on the video we dropped last night because we had some amazing comments and interactions coming in, a lot of good content to kind of go over with you. Okay, so I've not really pre-planned this, I've just dealt with the comments as they were coming in last night, and then I thought when I'm doing the video it'll be the first place I start and we'll take it from there. Okay, so one of the first comments we've got comes in from Ollie Draper. He's picked up a guy by the name of Marco Varnier for plays for Atalanta, and he's just wanting to know what we kind of think of him. I had to really dig about to find something on this guy. The only information I could get was from Wikipedia. So it was either Italian news links, nothing on flash scores, nothing on who scored. I couldn't find him anywhere. But he's like a Italian youth international who plays for Cittadella, which is like Serie B, Serie C, something like that. And he's on loan at Atalanta. So what you normally find with these Italian clubs is loan is basically like a trial. You know, players get loaned all over the place and they do like shared ownership between clubs and different things. So the chances of, if he's not played because he's been injured, Ollie, if you've been watching him, if he's an Italian international, all it takes is one decent match out of him and then you'll probably get links to maybe Atalanta are a good mid-table club in Italy, don't get me wrong about that. Maybe a more established European name in Italy, like maybe a Fiorentina or a, you know, something like that, a Roma or a Parma or something. Thanks very much, Rob. Mega Streaks, I've invested, this one really flew me. I've invested in some Philip Bradaric and he started most games, he's really cheap, whatever. I went and looked at this guy and he's really cheap, and the thing with players like that, let's go and we'll go. You can go and look at him if you want yourself, but he's like 35, 36 pence, 33 pence, something like that. And if he's playing every game in a qualifying league, a player like that, all you need is one good match day, one goal, one assist, something like that. And because it's, as it stands pre-split, 2 pence a goal, 3 pence a goal for a defender, 1 pence for an assist, and post-split the equivalent would be 6 and 3 pence. Then having somebody who costs 30 pence to achieve that for you is massive profit margins on that happening alone. So if you are holding somebody like that, the guy's a bit too old for my liking for the club he's at, Cagliari, and you know, whatever else. But that's a really nice gamble. You know, you just need that to pay off once, and you take the quick sell, you take the done, you know, you do the dirty on them, or you sell the day after once the dividends are locked in. But yeah, interesting, and it's a really nice angle you've taken, Mega Streaks. So thanks for the comment. Harry Kane, dramatically underpriced, new stadium, Champions League and all that type of stuff. My initial comment right back after that, quite simply, was something like, yeah, great point. And if Zinedine Zidane comes in, then that will shoot up again as well, because having a player like Harry Kane in a transfer saga with like a Real Madrid is very valuable on the index. Okay, and then we had a lot of stuff here from Jay. Okay, so I'll skim through this. So we're chatting about Trent, and then who would you want to focus on post split, and then let's see the replies, because he gave me a really big reply that I didn't respond to. I'm not showing you all this dialogue, guys, for no reason. Okay, so you can have a look at what I'm saying, that's fine. Don't want to shout like I'm promoting more. Yeah, okay, so this is the big one, isn't it? Yeah. Now, what Jay's saying here, guys, I don't want any of you to feel like this, you know, like, don't want to, you know, maybe feel like you're being arrogant or something like, oh yeah, look at how I'm buying and all this type of stuff, guys. Oh, what's just happened? Oh, my screen is just twisted on me. Really sorry. The point I'm making, guys, with this big comment, I'll try and dive back into it properly. There we go. Is with the channel, what we're looking to try and do, it's important he's interacting. You know, as you'll know, guys, see from a lot of the videos I do where I'm highlighting players and strategies to you, I don't go and buy every single one of those players because I just don't have the money to do it. And eventually, when I free funds up, I'll maybe go and pick one or two of them up, depending on what boxes they tick for me personally as an individual, what strategy on the index I'm looking to play and achieve, you know. But all I'm always trying to do, if I'm showing you positions, I'm showing you players, I'm showing you futures, is different angles, different takes on something you may know already, something you might not have actually considered, you know, that type of thing. And that's all I'm looking to do. And with your guys' comments, it's just the exact same. You're not telling everyone this is the right person to buy, that's the wrong person to buy, because really on the football index, there isn't really a concrete wrong and right. It's just about when, you know, when and for how much. You know, that's the real, the real crux of what makes you and breaks you. You know, And then he goes on to talk about guys like Dwight McNeil and Doherty and different bits and pieces as well. But it was really good comment, you know. And as I say, some of the stuff he's highlighting here, with like Trent and then Champions League and different announcements and how young people are. This is the sort of information we should be bringing to the fore. And see things like that Bradic and Varnier, they're absolute little gems on the index that you just won't come across. Just looking at, you know, where I focus my main attention is the decrease list. And I'll maybe have a look at now and again, pay some attention on the increase list really, but it's the decrease is what I'm really looking at. I like to buy bottom, and take the ride, you know. But little bargains like this, little snippets like this, guys, are really good. Okay, so let's dive right back into the index itself. Okay, the app has just got Trey Sexy. Look at that, wow. And also as well, oh, come on, fingerprint, there we go. It's also updated here, so in the middle of the page you can see the footy is on display now on the app, which is absolutely brilliant. It just means I can do everything from the app. I don't need to dive between the website and the app, which is nice. So I watched the video the Football Index official YouTube page dropped, and it was with Adam Cole and the other guy that goes on top. Sorry, 2 seconds. And one thing I found really interesting that came up from that video, if you've not watched it, go and check it out. It's not on very long, and it's nice to hear from the horse's mouth. And they're very open, you know, they you feel like you're in a business meeting with them, the way they're talking about why they've increased things and why they've done this. You know, they're being very open. They're telling you they want people to trade, they want people to come to the platform, and they want everyone to enjoy it and have fun, you know. So they're very open. It was a lovely kind of little segment to watch, okay. But the main thing I found interesting, right, I'll probably include this somewhere in the title of the video, okay? But what they said is after the split, the maximum amount of shares you're going to be able to buy on someone is going to be 300, not 100. Okay, that's just not let me do this. I've just not got enough money. I've just had dividends paid out to me today. That's why I've got a balance. But you're going to be able to buy players in batches of 300 rather than 100, okay? So the main thing we were chatting about on the video yesterday, and we were kind of some tweets and other places as well, it's starting to get your head around the fact that all the dividends are smaller per share, but also the shares are also a third of the price. So it stacks out percentage wise to be a great increase. Okay, roughly 28% is the number that everyone's chanting. Okay, but what you also need to think about, right, is let's think about let's even just say Yvonne Mvogo, okay, the backup goalkeeper for Leipzig, okay. If I was to buy 100 of him right now, I promise you this, he would move up instantly by me buying 100 of him, a minimum of 1 pence, okay. So one thing I was starting to think of before I seen this Football Index video was, how does that calculation work? So Football Index as a platform has a calculation for how much price a share should cost, okay, and that is dependent on how many shares they've sold, okay. So the more they sell, the higher they charge, because demand is higher, demand is greater, by the price going up. If you then want to sell, you're selling at a higher price because that is the price on the market, okay. So there's a big calculation that goes into the index to generate that price, okay. And that was one of the main questions I had in the back of my head was, post-split, Yvan Ngogo, he will be worth 13 pence, let's just say, okay. If I buy 100 of him, will he move up by 1 pence? Because if he does, then that is that is still in line with the calculation as it works now, okay. So what we need to start getting our heads around is how you digest information on index, what you term as a good position. So as you'll see on my portfolio, I like round numbers. I like 10s and 25s, 150. These numbers, I like them a lot. Jovanovic, I might buy some more of my dividends to round that out a bit. But I like these big round numbers, okay. But now with everything being kind of ski-whiffed a little bit, the fact that, because if you buy, so let's just say we buy 100 of them post-split, he's at 13 pence, we buy 100, it pushes them up by a pence, right? That means in theory, if that calculation remains the same, and that's yet to be seen, you know, because we won't know this till after the split, I could then buy 300 of them at 12 pence a share, 13 pence a share, what we've just said for the example. And then by me buying 300 of them, it will push his price up by 3 pence if each 100 still equates to the same amount as it does post-split. I hope I've not lost you. I hope I've not confused you. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get at here, okay? So this is a really interesting dynamic that we really need to pay attention to, especially with your smaller trades post-split, because there's a massive advantage you can be taking there. We've spoken about this type of thing before, buying profit. So you might have a position. Let's just use Leao as an example, okay? If I bought 100 Leao right now, I'm fairly confident he would move up to £3.44, right? So if the calculation remains the same, that 100 will move him up by a pence, and again, that's yet to be determined. He would be £1.11. Okay, let's just say £1.11, right? Just for easy maths. I wouldn't be, it would be £1.14 or something, right? So let's say he's 114. I buy 100 of them at 114. That means in theory, at his current price, it would move up by 0.3 of a pence, right? Which equates to equal, okay, what it is now. Because if I was to buy 33 and a third of them rather than 100, then his price in terms of the calculation that the index holds is only going to move up by a third, okay? So when you've got players in a poor position like this, sometimes like me, you're tempted to buy into them more to alleviate your liability. Bring down your cost, bring down that negative 63 down to negative 43 or whatever your goal is. You know, you might want to eat into that. I've done that with Eriksen before. When I bought Eriksen first time around, he was 4.91. So by me eating away at him, selling some, putting it into something else that made money, putting that money back into Eriksen when he's cheaper, so on and so forth. And I did one video about this, and when we're done with Eriksen, we'll have a complete video about this, okay? But it means then you're able to actually buy debt off yourself easier, quicker, and more, and also then means you can buy profit at the lower end. So let's say we're talking about where is he, Jovanovic? Where did he go? There he is there. Okay, so he's actually 56 pence now. I say I've had some problems with the app, it's just not been updating quickly. So if I buy, so post split, he'll be a pence short of 20, so he'll be 19 pence a share. If I buy 300 of him, then he should move up in theory from 19 pence to 22 pence, okay? Which then if you times that by 3 to see today's price, that would mean he would become 66 pence, okay? So me buying 100 Jovanoviches today shouldn't push him up by that much, you know, if that makes sense. It should be less, okay? So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for guile and market manipulation, if you want to just call it what it is, post-split. Depend on this calculation, guys, how it's going to pan out on the index. So it's something I really want you all to pay attention to and be mindful of, okay? Pre-split, the positions you want to hold, and post-split, how much you're going to do in a transaction. Because me, for example, let's just look at my transaction history. You can see, you know, I'll spend as much money as I can in a single transaction, you know. I'll buy one. I'll buy, you know, I'll buy one Jovanovic, if I see one there, it's just because I've got 55 pence loose change, you know. But I'll buy as much as I can to a round number of these types of players as well. But what this might force you or encourage you to do is hold off your purchase a little bit longer. Because if you're able to move a price with your transaction as heavily as we've just kind of outlined with Jovanovic there, his price moving 1 pence or 2 pence between now and when you actually buy them isn't really that relevant if you're going to be buying 300 of them and pushing his price up so high, if that makes sense. I'm kind of losing myself a little bit in how I'm explaining it, but I think the crux of what I'm trying to get to you guys is there for you to hear, okay? Now, again, like on the video last night, guys, interactions are really key. If you don't totally understand what I'm yabbering on about, try and get it in a nice, concise question so I can give you a nice and concise answer what you don't understand exactly, because I know I'm kind of babbling on a little bit. I've just found some spare time and work to come at you with this stuff here, okay? But we've noticed, myself especially, that the market has been slowly making moves off the back of the news as well. We had the big boom right off the announcement, and then, as you can see today, there's a little pack, Dybala, Niguez and Griezmann that have popped. Yesterday it was Mane and Odoi and Kane, I can't remember who else it was, yes, whoever won dividends. But you're finding this happening now, guys, because we're in international period, okay? So don't confuse that too much with reaction to the split, okay? Because it's been an international week. Normally international periods, you've got like 10, 11, 12, 13 days of sheer media dividends, you know, so that's why people will always chase the ones that are looking like they could win media. So what I don't want you to do is see Dybala popping up beyond £8 and panicking and thinking, oh crap, I better buy him now. Yeah, you better buy him now if you want the dividend today for the media, but what you need to think is that the reason his price has popped? It totally has. What is in the media? Oh, he's getting linked with Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Real Madrid. He's getting linked to all the teams under the sun. Like, what happens in international break. The papers just write about transfers, you know. So with international breaks, guys, if you've not done this already, you need to stick to who you're hoping wins the media early. And for me, just to use an example, Eriksen, I would like him to be amongst the media between now and the normal play being resumed. Ronaldo, Van Dijk, and that'll probably be it. If Silva or somebody else was in it, Leao, then I'd call that a bonus. But as long as I see Eriksen, Ronaldo and Van Dijk up and in amongst the rankings most days, every other day, then I'm happy enough with that. But international break, guys, because money's flowing into these guys here, means there's money flowing out of players somewhere else. And is that a player you've been tracking? Is that someone you've liked? Is that someone who's just got to a price and you're like, how has that happened? And you want to go pick them up. So it's important you're always looking for opportunities, guys. It doesn't always need to be at the front end of the queue where everyone else is. It could be at the back end where people are throwing their money back out of, like your Kimmiches and whoever else as well. Shea Adams, we were talking about him before. Isco is a good one, you know, these types of things, guys. Okay, so thanks for tuning in to the Aftermath Part 2. Just a wee bit of community interaction there, and another point I just wanted to bring to you off the back of watching that Football Index official video. Again, guys, I know I don't script these videos. I come into it with a kind of agenda. I'll chat about this, I'll chat about that, I'll post it, I'll then listen to it back. If I feel like I've missed something, I'll get another video out tonight or tomorrow or whatever, addressing anything, okay? But guys, I hope everything's moving positively for you. I hope you're starting to try and get a good handle on where you're at and what you want. And I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.